Hi, this is Rose59 here. I thought I'd go over a great project that I just finished making, and I thought I'd show you, just kind of go over the process of kind of how I built it. Basically, I had a client who wanted two sizes of kitchen cabinets and have them mirror together, and basically have a nice curved part at the front here. And I also had to do the color the same as a change table that I was doing for somebody. So it was a little bit more tricky because you're trying to match the style and you're trying to match the color, which can be a little bit tricky. So basically what I ended up doing, which is a great starter, is taking a look at the project first. It's one of the things just so that you kind of can look at it, see the different details. One of the details on the change table on the top part was there was a lot of molding. So you kind of want to include that in your project, which I kind of did here. I'll show some pictures after I explain everything, just so you guys can do more close-up, so you guys will have a little bit more feel of what it looks like, because I know it's from a distance here. And so basically what I had to start off was the actual cabinets. And the cabinets was in height was 28 inches high, and deep was 14 inches in depth, and width-wise was 12 inches, which is sort of your basic cabinet, kitchen cabinet size. And basically for the inside, I know you guys can sort of see it here. I know there's shelves kind of right now in here, a few set of shelves. But I use the Kreg Jig product, basically their pocket hole joinery. And if you're not familiar with that, I really recommend taking a look at their website, which I'll have underneath so you guys can go to it. I'll kind of go over what it does. It's an excellent joint. I built this whole entire cabinet with this product. The only thing I didn't was the doors. I did the tongue and groove style, but the process basically here is it's basically a jig that's the drill bit goes in on an angle. And when it goes in on an angle, you're left basically with the hole where the pocket screw that's kind of got like a washer head to it, almost like particle board screws. And when it goes, the screw goes into it, it stops at a precise point and it just drives the screw right into your next piece here. And it's a nice straight strong joint. You can do it with or without glue. It's an excellent product. I really recommend it. The weight for this product, I'm gonna say, when I was looking up online, I used two 4x8 sheets out of maple, in case you're wondering. The reason for that is I needed enough for the top and some extra shelves. I wanted a bit more and for size wise. But basically, I'll switch over on this side. I know you guys can't see it on the bottom here, but Kreg also, you can buy their plugs. So as I was showing you before in this process here, you can put plugs to cover on top of it so you don't notice it. And that's what I did for the top and for the bottom shelf. That way then you can't really see it. I left it open at the back, and the reason for I left it open at the back was I did it facing myself, so you see inside the pocket screws. I was going to do it the other way, vice versa. When you take a look online, see some other pictures, you'll see the reason for that is you kind of want to know if you're screwing into a stud, because this is being hung up high like an actual cabinet. So basically you want to know where you're screwing in so you're not hitting your other screw or anything like that. So you basically have got your bottom, your top, and then your two sides in the back also. And that was basically done with the Kreg holes on screwing into the sides and pulling the cabinet forward also. Two of these cabinets were exactly the same, so that was pretty straightforward. And the mirror also was built with the Kreg Jig. for the pocket hole joinery, and the best way I could only think of was attaching the curved part here, the front molding part, and also with the mirror. It was very tricky to figure out how I was going to mount that to that, which is also the inside here, the pocket hole screws. If you basically imagine it this way, only your piece is basically like this because you don't want to see these on your outside. But it's basically like this, so the screws are pulling the top. So the top is also got quite a few screws here on the back side here, so it's pulling your top together. I've also got screws going into the top part. For the back of the mirror, I've got them going in this way here as well on the back side of the cabinet. I'll do a shot of that so you guys can see the back side in a minute. And for installing the mirror was basically routing out the back of the groove and everything. I got glass that was 3mm thick because of weight purposes. I didn't want to get the glass too thick and heavy. Sometimes in your houses you'll notice that really thick mirror. That's about 5mm, 6, kind of almost in the 1/4 inch kind of range, and that stuff can get pretty heavy. So I want to stay on the small side. So what I did was I routed about 5mm deep, and the glass was 3mm, and I put a little bit cardboard on behind. And the reason for that is so that when I put clear caulking, and I just put regular caulking that you would put in the bathtub or shower, any just clear I did. Now I didn't put it on the inside. I put the glass down first, and then I put caulking all the way around. Then I put my cardboard on top of that, and then I also put a little extra caulking around just to give it that extra strength and hold together also. And the person I was making for, they were worried over time that if it did ever fall off or anything like that, I used tuck tape. Tuck tape you kind of probably can see behind me here with insulation and stuff because I'm in the garage. But that stuff is excellent. It's very sticky. It's meant for hot, cold, moistures. It's a vapor barrier that you use when you're putting up your vapor barrier, so it's a very strong tape. So I just put quite a bead around it, the tape, just to give it that extra sturdybility and that extra insurance for the customer, to making sure also to their standards and not worrying that, hey, I did caulking plus this, so you will be okay. Not should be, you will be okay for that thing. And that way it's nice and smooth on the back because you are hanging up. I used all maple plywood, like I said before. The doors were done in maple. Tongue and groove, I did joints. And for the doors, all it is simple, just not quite 1/4 inch plywood for the middle. Basically, this is just regular molding, chair rail molding that you would find. I got mine at Home Depot. You can, any local place that carries moldings or anything like that. You definitely can make your own. There's different styles. I didn't have a bit or anything like that at the time. So for me, it was cheaper for me and time-wise for me to get some at Home Depot. And all I basically did was on the side did about a 3/8 groove so that it could lay on top of it. Otherwise, it just was going to lay on the inside. I wanted to make it feel like that this is part attached to it, so it's kind of got that overlay. Because their other door was a raised panel door, but they didn't want to spend the expense into it, but they want to have the look. So this was a solution that came out that your cost was a little bit lower, but the detailed and the effects were all there. So that's pretty much else on the cabinet, and this was all just added with pin nails and puttied and miter joints in the corners. For this. The stain I used was water-based stain. It was at Lee Valley that I got the stain, and it's I can't remember the name or anything like that. You can always leave a comment at the bottom. I can look it up for you. But it's just a water-based stain and dye, and you can mix the two together, which I did. And it gave me this reddish color that I was after. The only problem I found is when it dried kind of more of a purple heart tone, which then I ended up using a leftover oil-based stain that I had, and it more had a brown tone to it. I don't know, you guys may be able to see later in the pictures, but it's kind of got some brown streaks into it, which kind of represents their other cabinet that they had. So I was trying to duplicate that into that. So it's one important thing is to really study the cabinet, look at details. If you got to go over, take a look, take pictures. I really recommend it because that time and effort that you spend in doing that, that will make it look a lot nicer trying to match furniture. So it was more of my first time trying to match something, but I was up for the challenge. That's the one thing, it's, you know, it's, so I didn't like it so purple. So then I added in, like I was just saying a minute ago, that I added in stain. Stain still had a little bit of red tone, but still had that brown tone into it. And that tied it in really nicely. For the clear coat, because it's going into a baby's room, quickly in the project, I didn't want to spray it with lacquer. Usually I use lacquer or anything like that. But because the smell and stuff, I didn't want to wait longer time for this to dry and to get the smell out, because I know sometimes it can. With also the weather I was having, it was a lot more sticky at the times with humidity. So some of the stuff I had to bring into my basement to do, and I ended up using the Varthane Semi-Gloss Professional Clear Coat. It's one of the best. I've mentioned it in one of my projects before on how to refinish a furniture or table. My videos, if you want to check that out. I explained how to put that on. And also, for me, it's an excellent product because I can produce good furniture and it still gives me that shiny look. Because I had to do this all by hand. I wasn't able to spray it. So if you guys have any questions or comments about this project that you think I left out, just let me know, message me, and I'll try my best to get back to you guys. So thanks for watching.